LowKick MMA. Today I'm joined by Dustin Jacoby following his impressive win over Maxim Grishin at UFC Vegas 20. How are you, Dustin?
Hey man, I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me on your show. Like you said, got a big victory over the weekend that I'm extremely happy about, and life is good, man.
Yeah, I bet. How are you holding up post-fight? Any post-fight injuries at all?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously the win takes most of the pain away. My legs are pretty sore.
Mm.
My right leg from throwing some kicks, and then my left leg from receiving some kicks. So other than that, man, my hands feel good. My upper body is really good. Got a little bit of a cut on my nose that I got stitched up and is healing up. So everything's good, man. Like I said, a victory takes a little bit of that pain away.
Yeah, I bet. So the fight itself, did it go the way you expected it to? Was that your game plan going out to fight in the way that you did?
Yeah, for the most part, I felt like the fight went as expected. Max is a very durable, gritty, tough veteran. He's got a lot of great wins on his record, and he's been around the ring and around the world fighting professionally. So I knew it was going to be a very hard fight. Of course, people were asking me how I thought the fight was going to go beforehand. Anytime I'm asked that question, I always tell them I expect a finish. I expect a big knockout TKO, and unfortunately, I did not get that, but I mean, not too many people do get that outcome against Max. So I'm just very happy to get the win. I knew it was going to be a hard fought battle, and I'm very proud of myself. I thought I showed a lot of grit. I thought I showed a lot of veteran status in the way I fought out there, and again, very very happy to walk away with the victory.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say it's almost the polar opposite of your your second UFC debut against Ledet with that early TKO stoppage. But at the same time, I suppose you could say it demonstrates your ability to go that 3 rounds and show that grittiness that'll get you a win like that. What sort of a message does those two performances so far in the UFC? What sort of message do you think that sends out to the rest of your division?
I think it's a very positive message just being sent out. You see a guy that, a lot of people don't realize my resume and my
Mhm.
career with Glory Kickboxing and what I've been through. And I tell everybody in these interviews that I do that I've been through it to get to it, and that's certainly what it is, man. I've been through the ringer. I've been at the bottom. I've been drugged through the mud, and I've walked through the fires, and sometimes I've burned to the ground, and other times I've rose from the ashes, man. And it's just molded me into the fighter that I am. I tell people the Hanyak forged in fire, and there couldn't be a truer statement, man. I mean, I thought that performance right there truly displayed the grittiness that I have, the durability that I have, and of course that quick finish of Justin Ledet. I wish that fight would have been on this card because every fight was a decision, and there was only one performance bonus outside the fight of the night, and the night I knock out Ledet, there's like 10 different knockouts, and I didn't get the bonus. So, but you know what? I think it'll come in due time. Again, I just have to keep putting the work in and going out there and putting on a good performance, and it'll come.
Okay. Do you find, or do you think that Grishin weighing in over the limit, did that make a difference at all to the fight?
I yeah, at first when coach said we got a little bit of a problem, I thought somebody had failed due to the COVID test. But he's like, "Oh, your opponent's overweight." Well, I was like, "We'll take a percent of the purse. The fight's going on." It was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to accept the fight. The work had been put in, and there's no turning back at that point. So it was time to go in there and get the job done. What it did make me a little hesitant because I was like, "Man, he's fought the majority of his career at heavyweight. I wonder how big this guy is. If he's missing weight by 5 pounds, 4.5 pounds, I mean, this guy's probably pretty big." And then right before we walk out, he was the first competitor that walked to the octagon. And I saw him, I'm standing there watching him walk out, and he does a cartwheel inside the octagon. I remember thinking to myself, man, that is a massive guy. That is just a
Mhm.
very big dude. And of course I'm getting ready to walk out. So I'm like, man, I have to push that to the side. I have to flip the switch, stop thinking those thoughts and go in there. But as the fight was going on, I kept telling myself, he missed weight. He's going to slow down. If I can just keep going, if I can go one more second than he goes, I'm going to win this fight. And that's what I did, man. I kept pushing the pace, and I felt him slowing a little bit in the second and third round, and that's when I told myself, just keep going, keep firing those calf kicks, keep throwing those jabs, and obviously stay away from him. I thought you could really see the respect that was given between both fighters. I certainly respected his size and power, and same with Max. I thought he respected my power as well. I caught him with a good hook in the second round that I felt like kept him on his heels a little bit. But another hard fought fight, another battle tested experience that I was able to overcome.
Hmm. Was there any noticeable like power differential, but in the first round, say?
As the fight went on, you mean? Yeah, I felt like
Mm.
in the first round he was a little bit sharper with his punches, and I thought that he threw with heat the entire fight. But I did feel him as the fight was going on slow a little bit. It wasn't too much. It was probably just myself convincing myself that he was slowing down,
Mhm.
or trying to, anyways. But yeah, he was throwing heat, man, and I was making sure to avoid it that first round. At the end of the first round, he got me with a good one. The time before that, when he hit me and I kind of slipped and fell down, that was a totally balanced thing. I wasn't rocked by any means. I just was. I got off balance and I was looking for the cage, looking for the cage. It wasn't there. Fell down and he came and got right on me really quick. So well played by him. But again, I thought he was just a big, powerful guy altogether. So he slowed down a little bit, but still very dangerous in that second and third round.
Hmm. Yeah, so that was going to be my next question. I think you just answered it for me. There was never actually a moment when you were rocked within the fight.
No, not at all, man. Like I was telling everybody, it was so weird because I'm such a veteran, and I'm usually I remember everything down to a T, down to
Mm.
the minutes. For this in this fight, whatever reason, man, I felt like the entire day I had an outer body experience. I don't really remember anything that happened in the back, and then when the fight got over, I for one, I told coach like, dude, this fight flew by. I felt like the fight flew by, and I felt like I could not remember anything that happened in the fight. I was talking to my twin brother afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, I was worried at the end of round one when he hit you and finished on top." And I was like, "What do you mean he finished on top?" I was like, "I don't remember him finishing on top." He's like, "Dude, you were down." I was like, "No way." I was like, "He only got me down one time." And then I went back and watched the fight last night, and sure enough, my brother was right. He got me with it. I think that's where my nose came from. I don't know if it was a strong jab or power right hand cross that got me, but he did, man. He got me pretty good. I fell down and he finished on top. So that was a strong finish to round one for Max. And then I thought that I did a great job of taking rounds two and three.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the judges probably agreed with you, looking at
Yeah,
the result.
I was nervous, man. I was telling my coach when it went to a decision, I'm like, hands down, we won that fight. Hands down, we won that fight. No doubt about it. Well, then Bruce Buffer's reading the decision and he goes, and winner by unanimous decision. And when he said, I was so confident until he said that. When he said that, I was like, wait, unanimous? I was like, who won that fight unanimously? I didn't think anybody won unanimously. So then I had my doubts, but then they said my name, and I was certainly relieved and thankful for that. I definitely thought I won. I did not think it was unanimously. I know it was a very tough, hard fight. So again, I was just very happy with the outcome.
Hmm. Well, now you're two fights strong in the UFC, as well as a win on the Contenders show. Where do you see yourself now in terms of the light heavyweight division?
Yeah, man, I think I'm gaining some momentum. I think I'm gaining some exposure. I think I've had three really good performances, and
Mhm.
that's four in a row back to MMA, and including my kickboxing career. That's 7 wins in a row and 12-2 in my last 14. So the momentum's really building. The train's rolling. It's picking up steam, and I'm excited with where I'm at in my career, man. It's been the road less traveled. It's been a long journey. It's been an uphill battle the entire way, and like I mentioned earlier, man, I'm forged in fire. So I'm very thankful for the hard career that I have had, and I think that all of that hard work is really starting to pay off right now. I think timing is everything. I think I'm in a really good position, and I'll just continue to climb the ladder, climb the ranks, and I truly believe, man. I got into the top 10 in Glory Kickboxing, all the way up to number 2 in the world, and fought for a world title against Simon Marcus, who, in my opinion, is one of the best in the glory, in all of glory, from every weight class. So one of the greats, and those are the type of guys that I have fought, and that just showed me, man, that now I can get to this top 15. I think I'm knocking on top 15's door here in one or two more fights, and then just right outside that top 10. So I've done it before. I don't see why I can't do it again. Again, timing's everything, man. I'm super excited with where I'm sitting in my career.
Okay. Are there any fights that you're looking at that think might serve as that gateway into the top 15?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down with my team and take a little bit closer look. Nothing really jumps out right now. I was fully expecting to get a finish of Max, and that didn't happen. So, if I got that finish, I was gonna say, hey, who's next? Be ready to call out whoever a little bit more up or towards the upper top tier of that division. But with the victor I got, I'm happy with it. But it does show that there's certainly room for improvement. And again, Max is no easy out for anybody in that division. I think that that's a very crafty veteran. That's a very skilled guy that's been through it to get to it as well, and has fought all over the world. So I still think he's very relevant in the division. And it's not that deep in the light heavyweight division. So I think here I fight a guy that's, I don't know, ranked 20 to 25, get a victory there, and then we start going, get a guy around the top 15 and get a victory there. Now we're knocking on the top 10. So no names come to mind, but I know it's going to happen here within the next 2 or 3 fights. I'm pretty certain of it.
Okay. When you look at that top 15, are there any matchups within there that you like potentially for the future?
Yeah, there's some good fights up there. I mean, Ovin St. Preux, I think he's ranked like 11 or 12.
Mhm.
And that's a guy that, I feel like I could get in there right now, dude. And I'm being 100% honest. I feel I could get in there with the champ right now and compete. That's how I feel with with the guys that I fight in Glory Kickboxing. These guys don't understand. The casual fan doesn't understand the Michael Dutes, the Murad Bouzidis, the Daniel Lungas, the Simon Marcuses, Alex Pereiras, the absolute killers that I fought in Glory, who are the best stand-up fighters in the world. And I've been to battle with those guys. I've been through it to get to it. So I know what that top echelon of fighters looks like. I know what they feel like. I'm the guy that stood across from them and went toe to toe with them in the ring. So I know I'm prepared for it. There's nobody in this division that I'm scared of by any means, and that I would be nervous to face, man. I've already faced the best in the world. So I know it's again, I said timing's everything. There's no doubt in my mind that that I'll be up there. It's just got to give it a little bit of time.
Mhm.
And I certainly don't want to rush it. My whole career is I was taking fights, accepted on the dotted line, didn't care who it was, when, where, no matter what. And it's all led me to where I'm at. I think I've got to a point where I've earned it a little bit to be able to accept an opponent, maybe not accept an opponent if I don't like it. But with that being said, I know myself, if they give me an opportunity, and I've never turned down a fight before, so I don't see that happening in any time in the near future.
Well, you're certainly deserving of it. You've probably been in the ringer, I suppose. Yeah, Bellator, UFC, like you say, Glory. So we've got the champion of your weight division fighting this coming weekend. How do you see that fight going? Just for the future, but yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's very interesting because Izzy's another guy that you really don't want to. It's hard to bet against, and he's a big favorite. And Jan, he's been a big underdog, and he always pulls out the victory. So he's another guy that you can't really bet against, and he's got a ton of power. I think I think what makes him so good is he's awkward. He's awkward striding. He'll throw like a jab, then he'll throw a two, then he'll just keep walking forward, throwing punches. And he's got a long frame. And I think, he's very capable of knocking out anybody, that he faces. So I think Izzy has his hands full. I really don't know how that fight's going to go. If Adesanya wins, I'm not going to be surprised. But if the champ catches him and just catches him with the right punch, I wouldn't be surprised either. So very interesting fight. The thing Adesanya has going for him is he's a skinny guy, but I just saw him when I fought Justin Ledet, and he fought on the undercard a couple times when I fought for the world title when I in Glory. So he
Really?
was a fighter that Yeah, and I remember seeing him. I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna end up fighting this guy if as he climbs through the ranks. And then right then and there, he had switched back over to MMA and got signed with UFC. So I was like, well, that fight's out the door. But I forgot how big he was. I saw him when I fought Ledet, and again, he's skinny, but his frame wise, he can compete with these light heavyweights. And I mean, he was a good, solid inch or two taller than myself. And I'm not a small guy by any means. And that's another thing, man. I'm mass wise, I'm not the biggest, but frame wise, I've got a big frame. I can compete with these guys. I think you saw it with Max Grishin. They're just a lot bigger mass wise, which I know the champ's going to be bigger than me mass wise. The champ's going to be bigger than Adesanya mass wise, but Adesanya has that frame, man. He's got incredible striking. He's very talented. I'll certainly be watching. I'll certainly be watching that fight close.
Yeah, I think we all will be.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. That card's stacked. I'm
It's
super pumped
incredible.
for that card. Yeah, it is.
One thing I am sort of intrigued about that fight. Do you think having just fought at the Apex, will the small cage have an impact on it? Do you reckon?
If anything, I think it helps out the champ because, like I said, he's got awkward striking to where he'll throw three or four punches in a row and just keep walking at you, and you're trying to get away, and the smaller cage prevents you. I mean, that smaller cage makes you fight. Like you're
Hmm.
right on top of each other, which makes it very interesting with two strikers like that are going to be going to battle. So. And by the way, I love fighting in that small octagon. I love the size. I remember, years ago when I fought in the UFC, I felt like it was just huge in there, and I felt like there was so much room, and it just didn't feel right, man. I like it when it almost feels like you're on top of each other, and so far so good for me. So I
Yeah.
really do enjoy the smaller cage, and I think it brings more action to the fight. So if anything, I think Izzy does a great job of moving and creating angles. But the champ does a great job of stringing punches together to where you have nowhere to go, and then that's when he catches you, kind of like he did against Dominic Reyes.
Hmm.
So, very interesting fight, and
Yeah,
again, I can't wait to watch.
definitely. Okay, let's go back to yourself. How many fights are you looking at for 2021?
Yeah, so I've just got another one on the belt. I'd like another three fights. I'm healthy. I'd like to fight again June sometime, and again maybe have a little bit easier of a fight, not opponent wise, but I'm saying going there and have if I can get a first round knockout, first round victory, and then maybe have a quick turnaround. And right now I just got to let my legs heal. Probably be a couple weeks before I can do anything on them, but then get right back to work. And yeah, if we could string 2, 3, 4 wins in this year, that would be excellent, man. I mean, this is my job. I look to keep busy, and I have a lot of fun competing, man. I have a lot of fun at the Apex. I love the setup they have there with, if anything, with this whole COVID bubble. I love the bubble. I love being at our own little residence inn, our own little compound. Where we're just basically locked up there all week. I tell my family and friends, hey, man, I'll see you Saturday after the fight. And you don't have anything else to think about. You're just training and hanging out and, watching movies with your buddies, and then you go out there and compete. So I love the competition and hopefully get in there, 3 or 4 more times this year.
And I presume that would mean ending the year with a ranking by your name.
Absolutely, man. That's the plan. That is certainly my goal because like I said, that the light heavyweight division is not that deep, and if I can go in there and get say another win early summer and then another quick and win after that, I mean I'm knocking on the door of that ranking. So that's the goal, man, to get a number by your name.
Awesome. Okay, just one last one from me. On LowKick at the moment, we're doing predictions for the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing match coming up. Just wanted to get your, well, maybe your take on the match itself and then your prediction as well.
So my take early on, man, I almost didn't even want to acknowledge it because there's certain levels to this game, right? And now these Paul brothers are like, they're starting to just get ridiculous with who they think they can challenge. And dude, I come from Glory Kickboxing where I fought 3 times in a night. I fought in 6 times. I fought in tournaments, and 4 times I've won the whole tournament. So I'm thinking, well, hella, part of me wants him to beat Askren just so maybe there's an opportunity for me down the road. I'd like, as we get to talking, man, I'd like a little piece of that pie. That's a big money. And I'd even sweeten the pie and I'd fight both of them in the same night. They fight at 189, 200 pounds, whatever you want to do. I'd do a tournament myself, Jake Paul, his brother Logan Paul. I'll fight both of them in one night. I'll knock both of them out. But dude, I really hope Askren takes it to him. I hope he just grinds him out, man. I hope it's just gritty, sloppy. I don't expect it to be a pretty fight. I expect Jake Paul to be throwing bombs, trying to knock him out. And I expect the gritty, tough wrestler in Askren to come out and just take those bombs for a couple of rounds. Like, let's go, big boy. Keep swinging on it. Keep swinging on me. Let the Paul get slow and tired, and then Askren just turn it on, man, and just beat him with just will and determination and grit. That's what I'm hoping. So like I said, I'm kind of torn. I'm split. I want Askren to win, but then part of me is like, man, I want these Paul brothers to keep the momentum going. I want them to keep beating UFC guys, because then it's like, all right, motherfucker, you want to get in there? Let's do it. I'm totally down to throw bombs with you. And I am 1-0 in professional boxing, so I do have a professional boxing record, and I would love to get a slice of that pie, no doubt about it.
Well, that's an interesting take on it, and maybe if you do get that ranking by your name, a fight could follow. We'll have to see.
Absolutely. I think they're smarter than that, though. I mean, I think that they're gonna try to pick and choose the fights that they really think that they have a shot, and I mean, more power to them. Like, against Askren, who's mainly a wrestler, and I can't even picture him boxing. That's a smart play by him, but again, also a smart play by Askren. He's going to get paid, and it's going to be a fun fight, man. I hope the grittiness comes out.
Yeah. I have no idea what to think about it myself.
Yeah, you heard my thoughts, man. Like I said, I'm a kickboxing guy. I'm a boxing guy. I'm a tournament guy, so I would love to propose the idea of facing both those guys in one night. And if the first guy beats me, which is never going to happen in a million years, but the first guy beats me, then so be it. They both get the victory. But man, that'd be fun. I think a little tournament style action. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd happily watch that. Okay. Well, that's all I got for you tonight, Dustin, or today for you, I suppose. Any last words, sponsors, or shout outs you'd like to give?
Oh man, just first and foremost, my family, my friends. I'm blessed beyond measures, man. I have a huge support system, a big following of people that truly care about me, and don't want me for the glory or anything that comes with it. They truly care about me. My team at Factory X Muay Thai in Inglewood, Colorado, led by our OG General Mark Montoya. Just an incredible mentor to all of us, and myself included, and a great friend of myself. We do a lot of hunting together, and just share a lot of good times outside of the gym and the octagon as well. My team at Landau Performance, where we do strength conditioning, the best in the biz. Anybody in the Denver area, who's who of athletes trains there. Lauren Landau is the head strength conditioning coach for the Denver Broncos, and he's built a wonderful staff and facility here in Denver that's just speaks volumes for what they do for me and as far as preparation and strength conditioning for my career. My agency, Iridium Sports Agency, those guys, they're knocking on the door of having 100 guys that they manage in the UFC alone. And every time I talk to them, they make me feel like I'm the only guy on the roster. So very thankful for them. They've helped me out in my career, and I just feel like I'm in a really good spot right now in my career, and I've surrounded myself with great people and successful people and people that are going to help me get to the top. And Revivid Sports CBD is another big sponsor of mine. They've taken good care of me, and I just got all my friends always ask me where they can get that stuff. I just got a new code put out. They got a new website done, so you can order their CBD products online for a major discount through myself. So very thankful for all of those guys. You can find me on Instagram at the Hanyak DJ. Same with Twitter. And man, that's it. I appreciate you guys as well for reaching out and getting my story out there, giving me the platform to be able to speak my mind and communicate with the fans around the world. And I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, no, straight back at you. Thank you for coming on, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Let's get a ranking by the end of the year.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.